Hello, Ma'am, and hello, everyone. My name is Jefferson A. Calderon from BSED 1 Block H. And our module for today is module 4, which is entitled The Raiders of the Sulu Sea. What is Raiders of the Sulu Sea? Raiders of the Sulu Sea is a historical documentary produced by Oak Tree Films and established in 1996. And this documentary was a product of a co-production agreement between the Media Authorization of Singapore and the Korea Broadcasting Commission in 2007 for Q Channel Korea. And it was distributed internationally by Looking Glass International through Discovery Channel and History Channel in 2008. The Raiders of the Sulu Sea was directed by Edzwan Altman. And Raiders of the Sulu Sea has 5 contributors, and those are one is Isel Gloria B. Estrada. She is the one of the Zamboanga City's premier artist, a true Filipina painter and sculptor. She is currently working as an executive assistant in the office of the city mayor and is overlooking the city hall restoration. She is also a writer and she writes a weekly arts column. She does extensive research in the arts and culture of Zamboanga. The second one contributors is Dr. Samuel Tan, a historian, National Historical Institute. And the third one is Professor Barbara Waston Andaya, and historian, National University of Singapore. And fourth contributor is Dr. Julius Bautista, a historian, Asia Research Instituto National University of Singapore. And the last one is Dr. Margarita Cuangco, the author Chris of Valor. And Raiders of the Sulu Sea has 3 Muslim tribes, which is the Samal, Balangingi, Elanyun, and the Tausog. The 3 tribes are not really pirates during that times. They were plying their trade of capturing people and selling them as slaves. Slave trading was business then. They were not raiding ships in the high seas. So what they did was go and land in different shores posing as fishermen. Without any warning, draw their 1-meter long swords and take as many slaves as they can. Once captured, the slaves' palms are punctured and tied to each other. And throughout the hundreds of years that the Philippines was ruled by colonizers, the armed struggle against the Spanish, American, and the Japanese colonial governments are considered by Moro leaders as part of the 4-century-long national liberation movement. The long-standing Moro conflict is rooted in the Spanish and American wars against the Moros. Under the Spanish rule, the propagation of Christianity heightened the prejudice against the Moros. In addition, Spain's efforts to control maritime trade caused Moros to lose sources of livelihood, putting many of them in poverty. Under the American rule, thousands of Moros were killed by American soldiers in the Moro Craters Massacre. And those are the ancient weapon of the Moro people. Ito yung mga ginamit ng mga Moro people sa war na naganap noon. And the one is the Moro Kris, a weapon of warfare and ceremony. These are not carried by slave raiders into the battles, but also by nobles and high-ranking officials of the Southern Sultanate. So, hindi pwede ang mga, this is not only carried by the slave, sabi dito. And, ito lang ang nahahawakan ng mga nakakataas na position like that. And, double-edged with either smooth or wavy blades. Yung mga ganon-ganon. Basta, ito yung example, ganun. And the carving is for easily slashing it would penetrate the bone and would stick, making it hard to pull. And the second one is the kampilan. This is the longest sword used by the Ilanians. It's heavy single-edged sword, often adorned with hair to make it look even intimidating. At the tip of the blade, a projecting blunt side was used to pick up the head of a decapitated body. And the last one is the barong, which is the deadly weapon sword used by the Tausog and Tausog warriors with single edge-lift blade made of thick tempered steel. And ito rin yung ginagamit nila to in close hand-to-hand battle to cut Spanish firearms down. Spanish firearms or the musket. And there is 3 ancient maritime vessels. The one is Lanong, a large outrigger warship used by the Iranum and the Bangini people, specialized for naval battles, were prominently used for piracy and slave raids from the mid-18th century to the early 19th century in most of Southeast Asia. And Garay, a traditional native warships of the Balangini people in the Philippines, used for piracy by the Bangini and Iranum people against unarmed trading ships and raids on coastal settlements in the region surrounding the Sulu Sea. The name means scattered or wanderer in the Sama language of the Bangini, were smaller, faster, and more maneuverable than the Iranum-Lanung warships. And the last one is the Salisipan, which is the auxiliary vessels, usually part of fleets with larger mothership like Pangajava, Garay, or Lanong warships. Among Malays, this type of boat is used as a boat for war or passenger boat, often used by the Iranum and Balangini people of the Philippines for piracy and for raids on coastal areas.